Rohit and Preeti had been best friends for almost 10 years. Everyone thought they were secretly dating, but the truth was very different. Preeti saw Rohit as her closest friend, the person she trusted more than anyone. Rohit, however, had fallen for years ago. He never confessed because he feared losing her. So he stayed by her side, hiding his feelings, and every day loving her a little more. Little did Preeti know her life was about to change. At 26, Rohit was known for his cold attitude. He barely spoke to people unless necessary. Most colleagues found him intimidating. But around Preeti, he became a completely different person. His eyes softened whenever she smiled. He remembered every tiny detail about her, her favorite coffee, favorite songs, and favorite flowers. Preeti often joked that he knew her better than she knew herself. Rohit would simply smile and change the topic because the truth behind that knowledge was love. One morning, Preeti called Rohit in panic. She was running late for work again. Without asking questions, Rohit drove to her house. He waited patiently outside. When she finally came out, he stared at her silently. You took 30 minutes, he complained. Preeti laughed and pinched his arm. You will always wait for me. Rohit smiled because she was right. During the drive, Preeti excitedly talked non-stop. Rohit listened carefully like always. Then she casually mentioned a new guy at work. His smile disappeared instantly. What's so special about him? Preeti giggled at his reaction. He's just a friendly. Rohit tightened his grip on the steering wheel. He hated hearing her talk about other men, but he had no right to say anything. That evening, they met at their favorite cafe. Preeti continued talking about new colleague. Rohit looked visibly annoyed. You are acting weird. She noticed. I'm not. You are you are definitely are. Rohit changed the subject immediately. Preeti rolled her eyes and laughed. She never understood why he became possessive sometimes. A few days later, the office organized a party. Preeti invited Rohit to join. The moment they arrived, Rohit noticed several men approaching. His mood darkened immediately. Preeti was happily chatting with everyone. Meanwhile, Rohit stood nearby, watching. Anyone who came too close, received a cold stare. His jealousy was becoming harder to hide, but Preeti remained completely unaware. Later that night, one of her colleagues asked for her number. Preeti was about to answer politely. Before she could, Rohit interrupted. She is busy. The colleague awkwardly walked away. Preeti frowned and looked at him. What was that? Rohit looked away. I didn't trust him. Preeti laughed, but his expression stayed serious. The next day, Preeti couldn't stop thinking about it. Why was Rohit always so protective? Why did he get upset whenever other man approached her? For the first time, she questioned their friendship. Meanwhile, Rohit blamed himself. His feelings were becoming obvious. If he wasn't careful, she would figure everything out. And that possibly terrified him. Because rejection could destroy everything. Weeks passed, and their bond grew stronger. They spent nearly every day together. Movie nights, coffee dates, late night talk. To everyone else, they already looked like a couple. Even strangers assumed they were dating. Preeti always laughed at the misunderstanding. But recently, those comments made her strongly nervous. A feeling she couldn't quite understand. Sometime inside her was slowly changing. Something inside her was slowly changing. One rainy evening, they got stranded together. The roads were flooded and traffic was terrible. So they sat inside Rohit's car for hours. They talked about childhood memories. They laughed until their stomach hurt. Then silence filled the space between them. For a brief moment their eyes met. Neither of them looked away. And for first time Preeti felt her heart race. The moment ended when Preeti looked away first. She pressed her hand against her chest. Her heartbeat felt unusually fast. Rohit noticed her nervousness immediately. Are you okay? He asked softly. Preeti nodded without meeting his eyes. For the rest of the drive, she stayed unusually quiet. Rohit found it strange. Preeti was never this silent. Neither of them understood what was happening. The next few days felt different. Preeti started noticing little things about Rohit. The way he always walked on the roadside. The way he remembered everything she said. The way he looked at her when she wasn't paying attention. She caught him staring more than once. Each time he quickly looked away. For some reason, it made her blush. A reaction she had never experienced before, and it left her confused. One afternoon, Preeti met her friends for lunch. The conversation quickly turned towards Rohit. That man is hopelessly in love with you. Preeti almost choked on her drink. What nonsense. Her friends exchanged knowing looks. He literally treats you like you are his entire world. Preeti laughed it off. But their words stayed in her mind. What if they weren't completely wrong? That evening, Preeti observed Rohit carefully. She noticed how his face softened whenever she smiled, how he immediately noticed when she was tired, how he never let her carry heavy bags, but how he always made sure she got home safely. Most people would call it friendship, but suddenly it felt like something more, and the realization made her nervous. She wasn't sure what to do or what to feel. Meanwhile, Rohit sensed a change in her behavior. She looked at him differently now. She became shy around him sometimes. The realization gave him hope, but he refused to get carried away. He had spent years hiding his feelings. One misunderstanding could ruin everything. So he kept acting normal, even when his heart desperately wanted more, even when every moment with her hurt. A week later, Preeti's colleague Arjun asked her out. She wasn't interested, but before she could refuse, Rohit overheard. His entire expression changed instantly. Preeti noticed the jealousy in his eyes. For the first time, she didn't find it annoying. Instead, she found it strangely comforting. The thought started her. Why did his jealousy matter so much? That night, Preeti couldn't sleep. Her thoughts kept returning to Rohit. She replayed years of memories together, the laughter, the late night conversations, the countless moments he had stood by her side. Suddenly, she couldn't imagine life without him. The idea of losing him hurt for more than she expected, and that scared her. The following weekend, they attended a wedding together. Everyone assumed they were a couple. Even distant relatives asked when they planned to marry. Preeti laughed awkwardly. Rohit simply smiled politely, but secretly his heart wished it were true. As they watched the bride and groom exchange vows, Preeti glanced towards Rohit. For some reason, she couldn't stop smiling, and Rohit noticed. As they walked home that night, the comfortable silence suddenly felt heavy. What were they saying back there? Rohit asked quietly. Oh, that marriage stuff. Just people talking. Preeti replied, trying to sound casual. Yeah, people always talk. Rohit agreed. He stopped walking and turned to face her. But I realized something tonight, Preeti. She looked up startled. What? Rohit took a breath. I realized that when they talked about us, I don't want it just to be talking. I love you, Preeti. I always have. The street fell silent. Rohit's heart was pounding against his ribs. He had finally said it. For years, he had imagined this moment. But nothing prepared him for sudden complete stillness. Preeti stood motionless, her wide eyes locked on his. Time seems to stop completely. The bustling city noises faded in the background. His fate now hung entirely on her silent reaction. It felt like an eternity before Preeti finally moved. She closed her eyes, tears spilling down her cheeks. Without a word, she wrapped her around his neck and buried her face in his shoulder. Rohit stood frozen for another heartbeat before holding her tightly. His body relaxed. The scowl vanished into relief. I love you too, you idiot, she whispered against his ear. Their long journey of hidden feelings has finally reached its perfect destination. Surrounded by friends who had cheered for them all along, Preeti and Rohit celebrated their love. What began as complex friendship of hidden feelings had finally become a beautiful reality, supported by the family they chose.